Good day, YouTube. It's the 10th of February, 2025, and I'm just back from Springfield, Oregon, and picked up a generator for 65 bucks. And it's one of them there Preditor generators. Never had one before. Actually, I kind of had a aversion to playing with these things because I just don't consider them quality. But I'm not sure that that's the fault of the generator as much as it is the fault of the owners of the Preditor generators. Not all of them, obviously, but some of them just get them, and they're pretty. I think they're actually pretty good and pretty inexpensive, and then they go to owners that just don't care for them. Don't take care of them. This would fall under that category, I think. And again, it's not that they're the cheapest thing in the world, and they're certainly not inexpensive. And why would you have something that you paid, real money for and not take care of it? I don't know. It's weird for me. Anyway, this thing doesn't do anything because, well, that's missing. And, well, that doesn't work. It's filthy dirty. I have no idea of the history of this thing, so I picked this up last evening. I was busy DJing car show for 3 days, actually. Got back, saw this thing, and go, wow. For 65 bucks, I'll go get it. I like working on things I haven't worked on before. Hopefully there's no big surprises in it. But yesterday was also Super Bowl Sunday. I kind of knew it was Super Bowl Sunday, but I am not a sports fan, so I don't really care. The guy was great that sold it to me. I'm not dissing him at all, but because he kind of interrupted my game, and I said, "Oh yeah, who's playing?" I honestly didn't know, still don't know. Somebody won the thing. I don't know because I don't care. Anyway, somehow we got to get this thing out of here. So I got me my cart. We'll line that up to the bumper of the Bronco, and I'll wrestle this thing out of there. I'll spare you the moaning and groaning and so forth, and then we'll get this thing inside and see what's going on with it. I was kind of anxious and stuff, maybe get this thing going, and on my way back I'm thinking, well, I know the battery's no good in it. Why don't we just get one coming? So I ordered a battery. I pulled in the rest area and ordered a battery on my way home for it, and it will, or is supposed to arrive today. I didn't check on it this morning, been a little busy, but anyway, if everything works out well, we'll get a battery for it today. For the moment, I might just get it inside, put that one on the charger. I got some running around to do. We'll come back, we'll dig into this thing, see what's up. All right, we got this bad boy inside. Let's take that battery cover off, see if we got access to the battery to hook a battery charger up. We don't know anything about this thing, so we don't know if it's been in there a year or if it's the original battery. I mean, the rope pole is broken, which means it's been used a bunch. Might be the original battery, and it might have been shot 10 years ago. Looks like the battery's got some size to it, maybe. What do we got here? How does that come out? Oh, not as big as I thought it might be. Sure, it's adequate. Peeking in there, it's not like filthy dirty or anything. That's good. Okay, battery charger. Battery charger. We're going to have to take tie off the leads here. So yeah, 65 bucks. All I did was pull the cap off the tank, and it didn't smell bad in there, so that was good. Obviously I couldn't check compression. I couldn't check anything. Load it up and go. He was getting a ton of responses to his ad, he said. And I usually lay it on pretty thick when I'm responding to an ad. I tell them it's going to be a YouTube video. And I'm going to get it back to life and make it like brand new. And on. Which is true. And often that's enough to sway the seller to sell it to me when he's got lots of choices. I always tell him I can leave right away. Cash in hand. All of that. My leads are a little big for that spot. Plug the charger in. Let's see what it says. Doesn't do anything, so it's probably 0. Plugged it in. Please clamp on the leads. Yeah, it's 0. I don't know if this thing will start at all. No. Okay, we're gonna have to put a dumb charger on this thing. Okay, put a dumb charger on it, and it's been about 2 minutes. And no movement. I don't think it's going to do anything. Let's hook the jump box up for fun. I want to just see if it cranks. It's not locked up. And we might get to see how many hours are on this. I'd love to know if these clamps will hook to this battery. That one sort of fits. This one beep. Contact. Well, okay, my jump box is on. It's fully charged. Try it. Contact. Clear prop. I don't think the engine's turning over. Yeah, maybe it is. Sure sounds bad. I got nothing on the screen. I don't know. What do we got here, guys? Is it cranking? I don't know. Don't know. We haven't checked the oil or anything yet, so let's disconnect the jump box. We're going to leave the battery charger connected to it for today. I think I got other things going on today, and we'll come back to this tomorrow. See, nothing, no movement on the gauge at all. All right, we'll see you tomorrow. All right, boys and girls, back. It's actually the same day, but it's probably 6:30, 7 o'clock in the evening. It is dark out, and I came back and pulled this side cover off. It was just 2 screws, one in each corner, and some things that made it stick in there. So we got that thing pulled off. It's actually pretty clean inside. Fairly impressed. I pulled the dipstick. Very dirty oil. It's about halfway between full and empty. No, full and add, something like that. And then I pulled the gas cap off. It's completely empty of fuel. Smells fine. That's the only thing I really did when I picked this up, is pull the gas cap off. Gave it a sniff and it smelled fine, but there is no fuel in it, which is also good. So got some fresh non-ethanol in this can. So let's put some in here. See if it'll run. I did crank it over. My battery didn't show up, and the battery that was in this did not charge. It was on all day. So I got my jumper pack hooked up to it. That should be good for testing purposes. So we're just going to crank it on the jumper pack. Okay. I did shoot some starter fluid in it and she kicked, so I don't know. Might just run. Let's find out. Set this aside. And jumper pack on. Put it in run-start. Let's give it a minute because it's completely empty and needs some time to flow fuel. I do have the airbox cover off. I didn't check the spark plug yet, but I want to do that. I looked up what the plug was supposed to be. I think it's a pretty common plug. I should have 1 or 6 on the shelf, but we'll look at that. It was probably running fine like this. But again, inside, just a little dusty. Not dirty, not greasy, no oil. You could vacuum half of the dusty stuff away and it would be fine. Let's throw this cap back on. I think I'll take my battery charger off the machine so it don't fall off. These are great chargers, by the way. I like them so much I have 2. Okay. Set this cover over here in anticipation of it running. So we really haven't done anything to make it run other than put fuel in it and to make sure it had oil in it. Make sure it didn't have something stupid in the airbox. We got the jumper pack hooked up as a battery and eco throttle off. If it starts, I'll turn it right on. We're in choke, ready, clear prop. We're going to give it some help. Starters not sounding great. Fire in a hole. Almost. Almost back to choke. Come on, go. Dang. Take it off a choke to shoot this in there. Probably gonna have to get a carburetor for it. We had a green light for a second. Looking like carburetor. No choke. Choke. Well, darn you anyway. Choke. Just that. No choke. And no starter. What's the deal? Alright. Well, I guess tomorrow, if we get a chance to work on it, we'll pull the carburetor off. Sometimes I just jump on the internet there and order new parts, because sometimes, occasionally, you can get on Amazon and get one like the next day if it's a common enough part. Maybe this is. So we'll do that, and we'll reconvene in the morning. Looks like it's very nice, easy to get to so far. Yeah, here we go. Got a little carburetor work to do tomorrow. See you tomorrow. All right, boys and girls, we are back. It's the next day. It was 24 degrees out this morning. Kind of chilly. My battery did show up right up there. Last night, actually, like Amazon said they would. It's a Mighty Max. And we're going to get the carburetor out of this thing this morning and try to clean it. I didn't order one yet. I got to thinking, this tank is super clean, and actually the inside of the generator is super clean. I'll bet we can just knock the plug out of the main jet and that this thing will run. If we open it up and it's really gunky, we'll do a good job of cleaning the carburetor. If it's pretty clean, it just got something, you know, lodged in the main jet, we might just clean it out with a pipe cleaner or a torch tip cleaner, etc., and spray it out, blow it out with a compressor, and put it back together, see if we get it. The other thing is the rope starters missing. And I, again, never had one of these apart, but I think we can get these perimeter screws out. I noted that this one is way out. It's finger tight. So this thing's been apart by somebody. And yeah, we'll go from there. Let's pull these apart, because remember, we got to get to the recoil. Yep. And I don't know where all the screws are. That must clip in place or something. What's up with that? I don't know. I'll find out in a minute. I got a light fixture going out. If you see the flicker. And my work surface is on wheels. It kind of rolls around a little bit. Wow, we might need to pull these. Get that off. So I realized earlier I put a battery in it, you know, and I was thinking the display would light up, but it doesn't light up until it's running, I guess. I didn't get to see it. I was trying to make this thing run long enough to know how many hours is on it. But we didn't get that far yesterday. Hopefully today we do. What did occur was when it tried to start, the overload light would come on. When it ran just barely long enough, it went off and the output light came on green. So that is as far as we got yesterday. That one's probably got a really deep screw in it, which they typically do. What do we got here? What do we got? Get a screwdriver. Okay, we'll get a Phillips for that. We'll see what happens here. That's kind of stiff right there. Okay, we'll get a Phillips for that guy. Woo, it's a long one there. Hondas have the same type of setup. Leave that screw in there, you don't lose it. Alright. That's helping. Is there a screw buried behind there? It's still really tough. And we still have a center screw here. Huh. Alright, let me fiddle with this. I'll tell you what it took to get it off. Alright, there's an Allen head bolt right there. I found the correct size Allen for it. If I can line up this. If I can get it to stop ratcheting. Seems like that might be what's holding it in. That one there. Now does it move? Yeah, there we go. Now then, can we get it away enough to get to, whoops, the recoil? Yeah, we can see it anyway. Just gently moving this wire bundle out. They make this pretty easy to disconnect. Little terminal strip going on in there. The fuel that we pulled the long knob out of is on a little cable assembly up here. That's kind of cool. Kind of drawing a conclusion what I think about this machine. So far, kind of like it. Okay, well, take a little more doing to get this off of there, but we're on the right track. Let's go after the carburetor now. Those are 10 millimeter. There's appears to be two, but there might be a third one in there if we start looking around. One inside the air box and one outside the air box. This breather tube went into the cover. There's another one back here. Something else holding it. Oh yes, there's one on the back side. Interesting. Where's my light? There it is. Excuse me. Oh yeah, another one on the back side. That's way too long of an extension. Way too short of an extension. So, I need a smaller one. A shorter one. Right, there's third screw. Ah, that's gonna be it. This little vent tube on the top, push that right off. One air box, expertly removed, just a little dusty. Set it over here. All right. Now then. That is pretty well on there. Okay, we got fuel line here, this choke mechanism. Might just come right off. Try to be real careful of these gaskets. That sure looks like a Honda gasket. I mean, I know it's a Honda clone, but I guess you would expect that. Almost. Come on. It's stuck on the top. What is that? Alright, I'm not really sure what's got the top of this thing held on. You try to pull the carburetor forward, maybe that'll help. Yeah, it does. Carburetor forward. Okay, so that little assembly will just hang right there. This gasket is loose. We'll grab that off of there. We don't hurt nothing. And we need to get this fuel line off of there. And then the servo, somehow or another. I got an idea. I've kind of got access to this thing, but maybe pulling the bowl off. These are drains, fuel drains. Fuel lines are fairly stiff. So let's drain the carburetor and then take the bowl off of there and see what we're working with. That would be cool. My little coffee cup is here. My properly sized screwdriver is here. I gotta get rid of what's in this coffee cup so we know what's coming out. Okay. Now the tank was bone dry. The fuel that is in it I put in yesterday, and it's fresh non-ethanol premium gas. So the question is there any fuel in the carburetor? The answer to that question is no, there is not. Oh, wait a minute. It's not even the right tube. The right tube's over here. Yeah. No fuel in the carburetor. So which means that needle and seat are stuck. I'm going to turn on the fuel by putting the handle back on it and beat on that carburetor. With a screwdriver in an effort to open the needle and seat. We are now getting drips. It's blue fuel. Probably, oh, it stinks. Woohoo! Okay. Yeah, it smells. The tank was clear, didn't smell. I was hoping somebody drained it properly. I don't think that's the case. So knowing that now, it's blue-green. We're gonna pull that carburetor off. We're gonna pull it off because it's gotta get cleaned. Where are my pliers? There they are. Those clamps, you can do them with your fingers if you can reach them. Whew. My heater's hot on my leg there. I had to move it. Alright, let me fiddle around and get this fuel line off. And I'll see what it takes to get this carburetor out with that servo on. Not sure what this is, like a evaporation box or something. I think it's gonna keep the servo from coming out. So I either need to take it off or take the studs out. We'll figure that out. Alright, we got this little box loose. I'm gonna turn it horizontally or something. Try to slide this baby out of here. Now it's sitting here. Yeah. Now, servo wiring's tight, and it's cruising down here. So there's the plug. Unplugged. See if we can pull the wiring around without it catching on everything in here. There we go. Expertly removed. All right. What do you say we pop this baby open, huh? All right, what do you think we're gonna find? I don't think it's gonna be rusty. I think it's gonna be gummy. I think somebody just kept throwing fuel stabilizer in this thing instead of, you know, changing the fuel. And I think it's going to be gummy. I think it's going to be cleanable just by spraying it. You can see the color. Yeah, no rust. What I got to beat on it with? You heard it pop. Just a little bit of dirt and a little bit of gummy. Gummy. See if the float moves. Yeah. It's just stabilizer. It's just stabilizer. Yep, gummy. Yep, jet is 100% glazed over. That one's not going in there, is it? Oh, it did. Please come out. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a coming. Can't even tell there's a hole in it when you look at it. It's like it's full of Bondo or something, you know? Is that it? Is that it? I don't know. Is it still coming out? Well, let me fight it and get it out. It's pretty gummed up. Alright, I couldn't easily get the main jet out. I mean, I'd have to like drop a little screw in there and thread it in to pull it out. It's just a little gummy. So we're going to try to just spray it off for right now. I have everything in here except the needle. I removed it from the float because I don't want to get carburetor cleaner on that rubber tip. But we can get this jet out of here. We're going to. I did clear it with the pipe cleaners here. It didn't take much to clear it, but it was definitely blocked. If I fill that slowly, you can see she's running out. So I'm going to spray this and wipe it out, clean this stuff off the float. It's just stained and gummy. It'll clear off. Alright, and then I'll bring you back when I'm kind of done. Alright, after that little bit of cleaning, kind of let it sit a minute. Started tapping on it, the jet came out, the emulsion tube came out. That's awesome. I'm gonna look through this jet while peering through the window and make sure it's clean and clear. I see just a little bit of fuzz in there. Still a little bit of fuzz in there, so we're going to high pressure clear it. Don't get this in your eyes. Should have glasses on right now. Yep, looks good. Now emulsion tube time. Everything else cleaned up very nicely inside the bowl. Everything, just a little piece of Scotch-Brite. I'm going to do the same with this emulsion tube. Now, I have an ultrasonic cleaner, and that'd be great for this thing, but it's really just your call if you want to take the time. We're going to get this thing clean and clear. I think it'll be just fine. I've already had a pipe cleaner through this all the way up from the bottom while it was still all assembled. Emulsion tube is clear, it's coming out the sides. If I spray into one end and plug the other, then liquid's got only one place to go. I'm not sure if I can get it to where you can see it. Yeah. Crispy clean. One thing I've done is take in fact I keep them in my little drawer with my cleaners, is like one strand of like a 12 or 14 gauge wire. All of a sudden it disappeared. I also have these little micro drills. So again, like one strand, that one might be too heavy. This is a 10 gauge wire. Oh, fits just fine. Fits just fine. A little tight for that little hole. It's just a lesson in tedium. All right, close off as many as you can with your finger. Close off the end for the littlest ones. Well, I think they're spotless. 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 Main jet. Good. Okay. She's going to work good. I'm going to spray this out one more time. And then we got to clean the needle by hand, okay? So we don't want to get carburetor cleaner on it. Snug as a bug. Okay. Clean the needle. Just be careful. It mostly had stick 'em on the side where it was keeping it from sliding up and down perfectly. So we're just going to kind of polish that off. I've sprayed down where the seat is. Uh-oh. This little spring. About to lose it. Okay. We were as gentle as we can. We'll slide this back on. Oh yeah. This is a little sticky still. Was a little sticky. It's like brand new now. Okay, so this has a little flat spot on the top and the little spring to hold it in place. And we gotta get it up in there like that. Like so. Okay. And then we gotta drop it in to its little hole. Put the pin in. I could see. There we go. Now we gotta put the little cap on. I gotta kind of look at it and see how I should clock this. Let's see. It went on this way. Come on. I want it clocked kind of the way it was, about right there. Okay. Hopefully I was in camera view. Don't have a front viewfinder. Okay. Why don't I just stick this thing back in and then I'll bring you back. Alright, boys and girls, I put that carburetor back in, put the air box on, but not the cover and the filter and such. I'd even put the new battery in. So I've turned the fuel thing on. We're in the choke position. Let's see if it'll start. Turned it on so if this has a gravity feed, which I believe it does, should fill up the carburetor, and I don't see anything leaking. So eco throttle is off. We're in start mode. See what happens. That tool's going everywhere. Okay. Maybe I should leave it choke a little longer. Ooh. Pick up a few tools here. Things don't go flying. What was I thinking? All picked up, try it again. Leave it on choke for a minute. Starter sucks. Almost. Lip is rattling a bit. I put a little bit of choke on, so it may not be completely happy. I don't see how many hours it's on. Maybe I don't know if that's an hour meter or not. Well, it runs, it makes power apparently, and the carburetors run pretty lean apparently. So could have been still something floating around. What I often forget to do is once we get everything kind of dialed in, ready to put stuff back together, we should run some fuel out before we plug it into the carburetor, because it could ingest something quickly. So anyway, I think what we'll do for now is let me think about what's going on here, and let's dig deeper into getting the rope replaced, and then we'll go back to the carburetor, either clean it again, soak it out and such, or just get another one coming. Luckily they're easy to get on and off, but anyway, progress is progress. I do not know how this works. I might look that up. This wasn't changing anything, it just said 0, so output to 0, but I sure thought it would show me how many hours is on this, but I'll go see if I can find out. In the meantime, I'll start digging this thing further out to get to the recoil. You can get to 2 of the 3 bolts through this side. I just need to get to 1 more on this side, and should be able to make it happen. Here we go. Well guys, I gotta get this cover off, and I really struggled to find, I was looking on YouTube for a video or something that says how to replace the rope in this thing, and finally I found one, or at least I thought I did, but turns out the guy, has the handle basically replaced, and the rope's just all hanging out here a foot or 2. Maybe you can get 1 revolution on it, and he called that good. And I'm like, oh shoot. Anyway, these things are not easy, and you know what, the Honda isn't either. But first thing I do is figure out how to get this cover off. 1, 2, 3 screws along the bottom. 1, 2, 3 screws along this side, and then there's screws underneath these things on top, and then 3 screws down the front. So that'll get this cover off, but I don't think that's gonna be a ton of help. I can get to 2 of the screws that take the recoil off. You can see one down there on that spacer, one up there on the spacer. Those you can get from this side. They're not super easy, but they're not impossible. The wiring is keeping this front from coming all the way off, but I don't know that that's insurmountable. I wish it would just pull out another couple inches. That'd be good. I might have to deal with this. But inside here, we've got to get that cover off to get the one in the 2 o'clock position. You can just see it there. But you know what? There's one down there in the 5 o'clock position. That might be really difficult. Maybe not impossible, but really difficult. Way too boring to waste filming it. So let me see what I can accomplish and get all this stuff out of here. I had an idea that I want to put this thing outside and let it run with that gasoline that I put in this, and maybe a full can of seafoam, and see if there's just some little thing in there that the seafoam can deal with. And how I do that is, you know, obviously put a whole can of seafoam in it, because it'll kind of run on seafoam only. So it's something like a half gas, half seafoam, or 2/3 gas, 1/3 seafoam, something like that. So then start it, run it for an hour or so, and then shut it off and let it sit there for a while, because the seafoam is in the carburetor anyway, and then do that until the fuel's out or it runs correctly. Other than that, I'll probably just get a new carburetor coming for it. We'll see. We'll see. So let me start doing this thing. I'll bring it back if I either get it off there, we get the recoil off, or if I get frustrated with it and we just set fire to the whole thing. Do that. Bring you back. Well, the dude on the YouTube video I saw said that bottom one was going to be impossible to get to, but it's not. It's right there. Wait, can you see it? There it is. See there? It's not impossible to get to. It's an 8mm. That one's not impossible to get to. Heck, we can get to these. That's no big deal. Might have to take the recoil out the other side. As long as it comes off, that will be the trick. How far forward does it have to go before everything clears? So I guess I'll find out in a minute. Here we go. Alright, boys and girls, I wouldn't call it easy, but it's out. Nothing's damaged. So we had to take this top brace off right here. Okay, I took these 2 screws out, bolts out, and that bracket. I don't know if I needed to or not. I felt like I did. And maybe it was just that pin that was holding it. So you don't have to take those out. I just did it anyway. You got to take this bolt out that goes through there. And then there's just a pin in here that holds the other side of this bracket. And then on the other side, there's 2 bolts. One is vertical, one's horizontal. So one, man, this could be so hard to show. Anyway, one goes that way and one goes that way. You got to work from inside here to outside there. Anyway, you'll figure that piece out, but it does come out. It's just tight. Be patient. You got to make yourself some room. And now we got to get the rope changed out. So we'll get to it. Here we go. Right, boys and girls, time to change the rope. The rope. I wish this was a size bigger, but it's not. But it's tough. I guess this thing broke right near the end, so we want a length similar to what it already is. And I'm going to count the revs. 1, 2, 3 and a half, almost 4. So we're going for 4. Okay. Going for 4. Ooh. Losing hardware. Should have moved that earlier. Trying to keep things together. Yep. Thread it through the other hole. I might have to, yeah. Doesn't take much to fray these out. Well, come on, baby. Should I have done this the other direction? Guess we still can. Okay, so we know we got to get this through in the frame and everything, but we don't have to do it right this moment. So let's just put a loose knot in it for the moment. We can untie it or we can cut it out later, right? It's almost 4 turns. And it had tension, so we should be fine on the tension, but if we were going to change it, now would have been a good time. You want to do this more than 10 inches away from the gas tank. 10 inches should be safe. Maybe 11. Okay, I'm gonna put this on the end so no disasters happen. The old tension's right there. One, two, three. Yeah, that's gonna be good. That's gonna be good. I think the knot is just fine. Now, which one do you want to put this back in? I want to be sure you know how to do it. Just leave me hanging like that. Alright, it's gonna take a while. But it's gonna go back the opposite way it came out, I guess. Wish me luck. Just for a closer upper view, I guess, in case anybody wants it. Here we go. Alright guys, did get it back together. It took a while. A couple hours probably. I don't work too fast. I actually oiled up the air filter. It would never been oiled, and put it back together, put the cover on, and I did fire it up. It maybe runs a little better. You know, remember it was lean, and I intend to run this thing, get it good and warm and everything. That oil is so bad. I want to change the oil first, and then we can change it again. Let me find a 10 millimeter now that everything's been moved, and we'll change the oil, and then what? I think I'll just stick a couple screws in things, kind of leave it open, and we'll run it out and check it. Oh, I want to check the spark plug too. You never know what somebody might have put in it. Heck, it could be original for all I know. It's kind of tight. Come on. There we go. And it's not new by any means. And it looks like 13/16 to get it out of there. Ooh, must be 3/4 then. Cause that ain't fitting. Oh, come on. Three-quarter. Wonder if that's deep enough. It's not going on there. Yeah, it must be 13/16, just the one I had. Wouldn't fit. Could they make the writing any harder to see? Right. Well, there it is, but it's 1/2 inch drive. Well, that's all the tighter it was. Somebody's afraid to torque that thing. I think I have in my phone, which I'm using to record, what this is supposed to have for a spark plug. So if I don't recognize the part number, I will have to check my phone. I got two paper bowls to drain the oil into. Got this up on a couple 2x4s. It's a Bosch. I don't see any numbers on it. How do you... Guess it's down here. Gap looks okay. Gonna put an NGK in it, so we'll set that there for a moment and grab a 10 millimeter. I can find one, and I got a 10. It's a tenner to pull the drain plug. Now it's got a drain plug in the base of this thing, and rubber plug you open up, so when you pull the metal plug out of the engine, it's got someplace to go. And hopefully I can swap the paper bowl quick enough not to make too much of a mess. Got one under there, I got a spare. Sorry if I'm in your way. Okay, I'm not going to take the cap off. I don't want it to go quickly. I want to savor this drain. Okay. Oh, I'm getting a rotten gas smell out of the oil. You know what that means. Definitely needs a changing. All right, let me get this drain. So a BPR 6ES, and this thing will hold 20 ounces of oil. 1030. BPR 6ES. Let's go see if we have one. Should have. Sounds like very popular. It's 24 degrees this morning, so I was keeping heat in. BPR 6ES. ES. Ding, 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 ding. Got it. All right, I set the gap at 30. I didn't look it up. That's what I set it at. If you don't like it, oh well. What I do with my spark plug socket? What I do with it? Don't anybody leave. There, I guess I put it away. Don't know why, but I did. Are you started? Yeah? Oh, maybe not all the way on. There we go. Holy smokes. Right. Put the plug wire back on. Put the oil drain plug back in. I'm gonna wipe all that off. It's a mess in here, it is. Shove that rag down where the oil was draining. sop up the mess. Now then, 20 ounces it says. I'm throwing that plug away. I'm not against Bosch plugs, I just don't run them. 2 points. Okay. If you've watched my channel, you're familiar with my measuring cup. So this thing takes 20 ounces, which would be just a little more than an EU 3000 Honda, 2 ounces more. So that little arrow right there points to the level, so you can pour your oil into here, measure it, and then pour the exact amount of oil into your generator. And I have all of my generators. You realize I have quite a few. All of them are here, so when I go to service them, I don't have to look them up, remember, or anything. I just fill it to the line and we'll pour the exact amount in. So I've got a 20 ounce line right there. So let's have 20 ounces. 12, 16, 18, 20. 20. That was my little water pump. Evidently it's just starting to thaw a little, but we're headed to 18 degrees tonight. So, woo, it's gonna be chilly. Sorry, I gotta set this over here. Grab a funnel. Should have had the funnel, but I didn't. A little compressor on. I blew this out a little bit. Still remarkably clean inside. It just wasn't dirty, it was barely dusty. Barely dusty. We still got a lot of cleaning to do, but we're gonna run it for a while. See if we're gonna do some more with that carburetor. Had a little drippage there. No biggie. Okay. All right. Seafoam. I think I should start it so you hear what it runs like now, and then pour that in. Yeah. Turn on low. I don't think that display works at all. Anyway, I'm gonna let this run for a bit, see what it's doing. If I don't like it after an hour or so, I'll order a card for it. Not very happy, is it? Little chokeage. So I'll check on it a little bit, bring it back later. Boys and girls, it is the next day, and we've got this thing pretty well reassembled on this side. Now, I ordered a carburetor, I ordered a carburetor for it. Yesterday was supposed to be here by 8 a.m. this morning. It did not arrive. Now they're telling me tomorrow. So I thought we'd be able to put the carburetor in it today and then kind of be done with it. So I did run this thing quite a bit yesterday. The seafoam I put in it is really good for cleaning fuel system, carburetor, the lines, the combustion chamber, the valves, top of the piston, that kind of thing. A little bit of blue paint there. But it did not solve probably the idle circuit in that carburetor. I'm going to keep the carburetor pulled off of this thing, but this is a Honda clone, therefore the carburetor was a Honda clone, so therefore I ordered another Honda clone carburetor, only 25 bucks, and but I did think it would be here today, but it didn't make it. So let's do the pull cord, and I had to go to the local farm store today and get one because I do not have one. Somehow or another I need to pop that cap out of there. There we go. Yeah, okay. Let's do that. This thing works good. It's nice and smooth. Wow, that sucker's got some compression, though, I'll tell you. Especially when you've got the rope tied around your finger. Okay. Hopefully I have not pulled this knot exceedingly tight. No, I think we're good. Alright, let's cut that a little bit. Excuse me. Trying to get through. Yeehaw. Where's my good scissors at? I don't know. I left them somewhere. That's not gonna work. I'll grab every pair of scissors I got in the drawer. There. Blow out the candles. Got it. And I think for the next few hours, I'm going to just be kind of cleaning this up, reassemble everything. I'll leave the cover off the other side. So hopefully that carburetor shows up. I'm still holding out that it'll make it today, but there we go. There we go. It's not an OEM, but it's an O something or other. Okay, so yeah, I got some of this stuff already clean, and I'll just continue cleaning on this thing, and I'll bring you back once I swap the carburetor out. So a little tip on this thing: I accidentally put the wheels back on it before I put the cover on it, and that doesn't work. So pop the wheels back off, put the cover on, put the wheels on last. Yeah, so it is coming together. And what the heck, it was 20 degrees this morning, so I came out and turned all the heat on, and I'm very comfy, cozy, warm in here, and I'm waiting for a message back to go look at another project, and I won't tell you any more, but I'm a little excited about it, I must say. So with any luck, I'll get that message and I'll go have a look at this next project, and I'll tell you if I like it. I'll pay the man, and I need to come back, get a big trailer. Here we go.